Most people ask, say, ChatGPT or any AI chatbots for a quick answer. Say, can you tell me about this topic or that topic? But how about the smart users? The smart users know it's not about the speed. Of course, it is quite fast to ask and get answer via, let's say, ChatGPT or the like, but it's all about clarity and eventually accuracy as well. Yeah. So if you want better answers, you need better questions, and to ask better questions, you don't need to be smarter. You just need to slow down and be more specific. Think of every AI conversation like a coaching session. So the better you explain what you want, the more helpful the answers will be, right? So for instance, let's have a look at this simple framework that you can see here as well. QAR. So Q as in question. So what do you really want to know or solve? So the angle would be the context. So what's the context or tone that you wanted to get or achieve? And the final idea is R, a result. It stands for results. What should the answer look like or feel like? So we'll see some examples we'll go through, but I'll share with you some ideas. Then we'll go through these answer gun prompts and the way we actually improve them together. For instance, you can say, "Oh, help me write this paragraph or write this speech," but keep this in your mind versus this idea that I'm giving a short talk, so you give it a context, right, to the new team members. So that's basically what the situations look like about, say, mindset. And now we're going to ask a question. Can you help me write? And you see that the how you want the outcome would look like. Say, okay, a 3 minute speech, you see, that feels warm, clear, and inspiring. So you see the difference? So you see, you may say, "Oh, help me write a speech," and versus all the context you say Q and R A R, right? Like the question, definitely the question is there as well. Like, I want a speech, right? Can you write a speech? But in the first one, you have no clue about the context, tone, right? And you're not saying anything about how the results would look like. So that's one example. We go through quite many examples together now. Let's have a look, and you'll see how these would look like in ChatGPT, for instance. So I said, help me write a speech. Of course, because it's smart, it keeps asking you. So what's the topic? What's the audience? What's the location? You see? So it's basically you can still do that. That doesn't mean that you should not do that. I sometimes do it. If I don't know the context much or I want to learn more about it, I just do this very simple, and that's totally fine. It doesn't mean that there's nothing wrong or right about this, but you get more information about it. But if you want to be, so you can see here lots of things missing, and it's ask you about it. So if you answer, so you'll get a much better, as they call it, like a perfect speech for you. But I've given it this way as well. So I'm giving a short talk to new team members about mindsets, as we said. Can you help me write 3 minute speech, right? You can actually say a 5 minute, whatever. It's just the context and how you want this to be. That feels warm, clear, and inspiring, as we said. Now it's going to go and do that for us. So you see, it's quite amazing. Goes through all the details that you mentioned. Says, welcome to the team. Really glad you're here. Not just because we needed someone with your skills, though we absolutely did, but because who you are and how you think truly matters. And you can see the way it's actually going through different things. About mindset is being mentioned here, and how the mindset be skills in the long run, and just start talking about it. And what mindset, it's just expanding upon what you really ask for, like about mindset and 3 minutes and inspiring, right? This is what you want, that warm, clear, inspiring. But again, you don't like it, that's totally fine. Just go ahead and ask for sort of my apologies, ask for sort of uh, changes that you want. You can always ask for. There's something called Canvas. Use it like that, and then if you do that, you'll bring it into a kind of canvas. You can edit it as well. Anyway, then you would say something else, another idea. Give me advice on, say, time management. Again, it starts because this has some context to some extent, so it goes starts giving you some ideas. Simple, practical advice on time management. Start with what matters every day. Ask what are these three things, or one or two things that would make the day feel successful. Does this fit even more email distraction, even before email distraction? And say time block calendar. You know most of these things probably, but you can actually gain a lot of information as you go through them. Or something that's many people refer to like 80 to 20 rules. 80% of meaningful results come from 20% of your effort, which is seems to be applying to many aspects of our lives as well. Or say protect your focus. There are Pomodoro timer one that people use, or even Windows and OS. They've got their own something similar timer type or multitasking. People say it's me, so some people do it. Anyway, you can actually question all these things as well. So no more, say no more often, because most of us we say yes easily, right? Or leave it space, review weekly or even daily. Like take time to what worked, what didn't work, and so as you can see, just still quite okay with this simple prompts. But how about, for instance, going through something more specific, as we said? Often starts strong in the morning, so this is basically like giving context, but lose focus after 2 p.m. Can you coach me? So you see, I want you to act like a coach. So here we're giving persona, you're giving context, you're giving the way, what basically the time or how I focus or lose focus, for instance, through a new way to manage my afternoons. You see, in the morning I'm quite okay, but then in the afternoon, so I want to be more effectively. So now it's a coach, right? You know you slightly better, and then say, okay, so you see the answer is different as well. Stand the deep, don't fight it. So it's like the way that people are talking about, oh, let go or these type of things. So naturally, because it's 2 p.m., so naturally your energy may drop, right? This is biological, so you can't go forever. And it's just failure, not a failure of willpower. So instead, as it tells you, shift the type of work you do. So it's basically it's telling you how to manage it, what kind of tasks that still feel doable even when my brain is tired, right? So often that you may not really need to focus a lot, like admin tasks, emails, creative brainstorm light ones, or walk and talk meetings. So you get some ideas. Say, oh yeah, I've tried walk and talk meetings, and it really worked for me, and I got gained some energy back as well, so I could do more. And can help you. You see, and you can say expand upon it. You may list you 10 more, right? Or create an afternoon reset ritual. Let's say like in 10 minutes like rest, stand by stretch, just step outside or look at natural light, take 5 minute breaths and so on, or even like sometimes water and tea definitely can help. Or would say make a 2 p.m. list every morning, right? So because you know that 2 p.m. this is the idea, so you can be proactive in how to manage it. So before lunch, make a short list of low energy still useful tasks, for instance. Or I tell you, oh, 30-minute focus a sprint. So you just focus 30 minutes and 5-10 minutes recharge and so on, right? It's something like Pomodoro type idea. So end with intention. So it's basically you can actually go ahead and end the day like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, like review what you've got, capture loose ends, etc. Right? So these are amazing because we changed the way we talked about context, how we want this to be, and about ourselves as well. So you gain even more comprehensive results. You can go discuss it more and more. So definitely again, so always I suggest people that if you want to really gain more information, try to dig it more as well, because you're having some of the wisdom, like quite a lot of wisdom here in through these large language models, but it's sitting there. If you don't tap it, it won't necessarily open up to you, right? So that's the idea. Another idea that you basically we do it every day. So we just write that paragraph, or we have seen the paragraph, but we want to like paraphrase it or like fix something in it. I just took something from CNN, for instance. Yeah, I just say, oh, fix this paragraph. Even found yourself in a conversation, but this is still good. But you can see that it still can make it shorter or more polished, as you say. You can easily compare the two and say where it changes, all these details. But again, if you want this to be more specific, you want to say, okay, this is too long. So you give it context and it's unclear to me. And then now, can you make it shorter, sharper, and give the friendly tone, right? And I do the same thing, and then it makes it like one liner, right? And one or two lines, sentences, um, and more clear to some extent as well. So I still don't like it. You can improve it, of course, as you like or as you wish. The whole idea is using QAR, like question and about the context that you or that the angle they're talking about and the way that you wanted the result. So here you wanted a friendly tone, right? That's the outcome. So if you want to summarize some of these things and that we discussed today, so I asked actually ChatGPT that because usually we talk about questions, right? We ask question or we give a context or statement, whatever we want, some sort of responses. And we know that better questions would lead to better thinking, right? And this better thinking, we believe that it will lead to quite good or much better outcomes, all right? So I just ask, what would you agree on that? It just keeps expanding upon it. Say, okay, but the question lead to better thinking and so on, right? And said, if you want even sharper flow, here's a slightly fun. Even there's the idea that I shared with it. It tried to improve it, right? Sometimes I do the same thing. I just get some ideas or I want to improve something, I don't just say improve it, I find really, depending on the context, I'll try to really sometimes say I condense it, sometimes say improve it, of course, sometimes say, okay, sure, like expand upon it, but then condense it, or try to, there are lots of verbs that you or actions that you can take. So see what you really want, and given that context and your results, you can actually provide it. So these are basically some of the ideas I wanted to share with you as a bonus. And but this last one is a cool one that I use quite extensively when I'm dealing with, especially I want to see things in a quick way, like a graphic way, for instance. So I said, oh, look, show this in a simple loop, like better, like when we talked about better question leads to better thinking, and iteratively that will lead to better outcomes, right? So it tries to help me like that. So it's better questions, better thinking, better outcomes, more curiosity, even better questions, right? So we sort of agree, but this is kind of loop I was expecting, right? So you can see here, I just gave a text, not much of a context, not much of the, I sort of said like how I want it to be. I said loop, but this doesn't look like a loop because in text you cannot easily do it, right? But then I thought, okay, how I want to do, he's actually asking me as well, like, do you want it, cycle clear or keep the tone, like about the tone, but want a visual or diagram style version, okay? So I kind of want this, but not necessarily visual one, but I want it to be sort of something that I can change as well. So I said, okay, use Python. So that's the cool one. So if you are not aware, Python is a language, like a programming language, as well embedded in ChatGPT and most of these LLMs. And you can actually plot lots of things, and you can do all sort of crazy things like programming and graphs and visualization and charts, etc. here within the ChatGPT. So I said use a code or Python and show this, whatever I said here, as graph. So you can see what it does. It actually starts analyzing it and gives me the same thing as a loop. So how cool is that? So my idea was like better questions would lead, or the idea was could lead to better thinking and better outcomes and more curiosity, and then even better questions. Like, and this would be a question. You can still summarize it or make it much condenser, I would say. Maybe these two are not necessarily, you can combine the two, or even this part of curiosity is not needed, maybe because you could just have one simple loop here, right? Or positive loop for better thinking. And the cool thing about this whole idea here is if you look at, we can have extended analysis of the Python one later on. But here, just give you an example that you can see the analysis. And that's the cool part. The way that they actually did it for me is like that. Like, this is a code. You can take this code, copy it elsewhere in any kind of language, any kind of platform that you can run or compile the Python code, and you can get the same result. You can get the same results, And the cool thing is you can make changes, if you like it, or just remove it or whatever. So That is what I wanted to share for this bonus part. Let's just recap for um, quick recap here. It was about how to ask better questions with AI. So we come up with a simple framework, QAR, and the question, what do I want to know or solve? Any angle? What's the context or tone I want? I want this to be sort of based on, say, I want you to give me a paragraph about, say, climate change, right? But you give it context. I want this to be a particular area in Argentina. Let's say, I've seen that flood is increasing in that area, and why is it the case? And then the result. I want this to be like friendly or more academic. I want this to be like a newspaper type of things, news. So then you can keep working on it to improve it as you wish. All the best. Keep learning, keep improving, and see you in the next bonus session.